Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes, Prabhuji, now you are audible.
Okay, there was, yeah, I have a Bluetooth that's on. Let me turn it off. Okay. Okay, so repeat again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Kritcham Naram Sheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhiraye. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devakinandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 21, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Verse from 21. Tataste kshina sukrutaha punarlokam imam sati patanti vivasha devaihi sadyo vibhram shitodayaha. When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they fall down by higher arrangement and again come back to this planet, just as any person raised to a higher position sometimes all of a sudden falls down. तस्मात् त्वं सर्वभावेन भजस्व परमेष्ठिनं तद् गुणाश्रयया भक्त्या bhajaniya padambujam. My dear mother, I therefore advise that you take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for his lotus feet are worth worshipping. Accept this with all devotion and love, for thus you are situated in transcendental devotional service. वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योग प्रयोजितः जनयति आसु वैराग्यम ज्ञानम यद ब्रह्म दर्शनम. Engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in Krishna, in knowledge and detachment as well as in self-realization. यदास्य चित्तम् अर्थेषु समेष्व इन्द्रियवृत्तिभिः न विगृह्णाति वैषम्यं प्रियम् अप्रियम् इति उत. The exalted devotee's mind becomes equipoised in sensory activities and is transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable. स तदैवात्मानमात्मानं निःसङ्गसमदर्शनं हेतोपादेयरहितम् आरूढं padam ईक्षते. Because of his transcendental intelligence, the pure devotee is equipoised in his vision and sees himself to be uncontaminated by matter. He does not see anything as superior or inferior, and he feels himself elevated to the transcendental platform of being equal in qualities with the Supreme Person. ज्ञानामात्रं परं ब्रह्म परमात्मैश्वर पुमान् दृश्यादिभिः प्रत्यग्भावैर्भगवान् एक ईयते. The Supreme Personality of Godhead alone is complete transcendental knowledge, but according to the different processes of understanding, he appears differently, either as impersonal Brahman, as Paramatma, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or as the Purusha Avatar. एतावान् एव योगेन समग्रेणेह योगिनः युज्यते अभिमतो हि अर्थो यद् असङ्गस्तु कृष्ण कृष्ण सह. The greatest common understanding for all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. Jnanam eka parachinair indriyair brahma nirgunam avabhati artha rupena bhrantyam shabdadi dharmina. Those who are averse to the transcendence realize the supreme absolute truth differently through speculative sense perception, and therefore, because of mistaken speculation, everything appears to them to be relative. यथा महान् अहं रूपस्त्रिवृत् पञ्चविधः स्वरात् एकादशविधस्तस्य वपुरण्डं जगद् यतः. From the total energy, the Mahat Tattva, I have manifested the false ego, the three modes of material nature, the five material elements, the individual consciousness, the 11 senses, and the material body. Similarly, the entire universe has come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. एतद्वै श्रद्धया भक्त्या योगाभ्यासेन नित्यसः समाहितात्मा निस्संगो viraktiya paripashyati. This perfect knowledge can be achieved by a person who is already engaged in devotional service with faith, steadiness, and full detachment, and who is always absorbed in thought of the Supreme. He is aloof from material association. इत्येतत् कथितं गुर्वे ज्ञानं तद्ब्रह्मदर्शनं येनानुबुध्यते तत्त्वं प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च. My dear respectful mother, I have already described the path of understanding the absolute truth by which one can come to understand the real truth of matter and spirit and their relationship. Jnana yogascha manishto nairgunyo भक्तिलक्षणः द्वयोरपि एक आवर्तो भगवच्छब्दलक्षणः. Philosophical research culminates in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After achieving this understanding, when one becomes free from the material modes of nature, he attains the stage of devotional service. Either by devotional service directly or by philosophical research, one has to find same destination, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. यतेन्द्रियैः प्रत्यग्द्वारैरर्थो बहु गुणाश्रयः एको नानेयते तद्वत् भगवान् शास्त्रवर्त्मभिः. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different spiritual scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. क्रियया क्रतुभिर्दानैस्तपः स्वाध्याय मर्षणैः आत्मेन्द्रियजने जयेनापि सन्न्यासेन च कर्मणां योगेन विविधाङ्गेन भक्तियोगेन चैव हि धर्मेणोभयचिह्नेन यः निवृत्तिमान् आत्मतत्त्वावो आत्मतत्त्वावबोधेन वैराग्येन दृढेन च ईयते भगवान् एभिः स्वगुणो निर्गुणः स्वदृक्. By performing fruitive activities and sacrifices, by distributing charity, by performing austerities, by studying various literatures, by conducting philosophical research, by controlling the mind, by subduing the senses, by accepting the renounced order of life, by performing the prescribed duties of one's social order, by performing the different divisions of yoga practice, by performing devotional service, by exhibiting the process of devotional service containing the symptoms of both attachment and detachment, by understanding the science of self realization, and by developing a strong sense of detachment, one who is expert in understanding the different processes of self realization realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is represented in the material world as well as in transcendence. प्रावोचं भक्तियोगस्य स्वरूपं ते चतुर्विधं कालस्य च व्यक्तगतेर्योऽन्तर्धावति जन्तुषु. My dear mother, I have explained to you the process of devotional service and its identity in four different social divisions. I have explained to you as well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to them. जीवस्य संस्त्रिर्बह्वीर् अविद्याकर्म निर्मिताः यास्वङ्ग प्रविशन् आत्मा न वेदगतिम् आत्मनः. There are varieties of material existence for the living entity according to the work he performs in ignorance or forgetfulness of his real identity. My dear mother, if anyone enters into that forgetfulness, he is unable to understand where his movements will end. नैतत्खलायोपदेशेन दिशेन नाविनीतय कर्हिचित् न स्तब्धाय न भिन्नाय नैव धर्म ध्वजाय च. Lord Kapila continued, this instruction is not meant for the envious, for the agnostics, or for persons who are unclean in their behavior, nor is it for hypocrites or for persons who are proud of material possessions. Na lolupayopadishen dishen na gharudha chetase na bhaktaya chame jatu namad bhakta dvisham api. It is not to be instructed to persons who are too greedy and too attached to family life, not to persons who are non-devotees and who are envious of the devotees and of the personality of Godhead. Shraddhadanaya bhaktaya vinitaya na suyave bhuteshu krita maitraya sushrushabhi rataya cha. Instruction should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. बाहिर्जात विरागाय शांतचित्ताय दीयतां निर्मत्सराय सुचये यस्याहं प्रेयसां प्रियः. The instruction should be imparted by the supreme person. Sorry, the instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the supreme personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. य इदं शृणुयात् अम्ब श्रद्धयान् पुरुषः सकृत् यो वाभिदत्ते मच्चित्तः स हि एति पदवीं च मे. Anyone who once meditates upon me with faith and affection, who hears and chants about me, surely goes back to God, back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thus ends this wonderful chapter 32 entitled Entanglement in Fruitive Activities from the third canto. Hare Krishna. I see some chats. I can't hear. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, this is a wonderful part of this chapter which is telling, okay, what about devotees? So the first half was more about Mm, condition, yeah. So it was more about what would be the condition of the people. Such persons are condemned by the Supreme Lord who are non-devotees, yeah, because they are averse to the nectar of activities of the Supreme Lord. They are compared to what? They are compared to stool-eating hogs. They give up hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing the abominable activities of materialistic persons. So, going further, yeah, we can see that uh, Kapila Muni is saying, my dear mother, I therefore advise that you take shelter of the Supreme Lord, for his lotus feet are worth worshipping. So it already is, yeah, some instructions are very clear, but we are not able to pick them up, thinking they are very easy, casual, or not so important, or irrelevant, or not practical, or unfitting, or non-relative. So many ways we just negate these wonderful instructions, but it is very clear. He says the best course of action is to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, lotus feet. Accept this with all devotion and love. So how should we accept? Not in the mood of Kamsa or Ravana, but in the mood of a devotee. So with love and devotion. For thus you can be situated in transcendental devotional service. When our ambition is to become, when our desire is to practice pure devotional service, we need to understand the techniques or tips. And here we can see the best thing is whenever we see the Lord or his representative in the form of a sadhu, in the form of a spiritual master, paying obeisances, that gives such an immense sukriti, or the power, and also the intelligence to engage in the pure devotional service. In fact, in the purport of 22, it says, as Brahma is the supreme person within this universe, Krishna is the supreme person in the spiritual world. Lord Kapila Dev advises his mother that she should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna because it is worthwhile. Taking shelter, I mean, we covered this, taking shelter of the demigods, and yeah, rather one should wouldn't take directly Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. They at once become situated in transcendental kingdom. if one takes to the right process. Engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in knowledge and detachment. So we want to understand what are we doing, isn't it? We all are, always are um, careful. Yeah, just like even when we are walking, we want to be very conscious that I'm not stamping on a banana peel or on a what is called mud puddle. Why? Because we know the impact or effects of it. So we are very careful in that. Engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna. What are these two things? Yeah, this seems to be Krishna, both are devotional service, right? What is the difference? Engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in knowledge and detachment. Uh, how to understand this purport? It is very nice. It is said by less intelligent men that bhakti yoga or devotional service is meant for persons who are not advanced in transcendental knowledge and renunciation. So this means, hey, if someone is coming and telling, hey, chant or practice bhakti yoga or do service, they say, hey, no, 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 this is only for people who have attained moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and then comes Bhakti, Panchama Purushartha. So it is a misnomer to think that Bhakti can be practiced after everything, which means after I finish my studies, after I finish my um, what do you call job, yeah, or retirement, after finishing my household affairs, and when everything is over, when I have perfect time with me, yeah, then I take to Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I think recently I wrote somewhere that yeah, during childhood, there is yeah, someone was saying about there is always a homework, right, in the school. Childhood maybe some other work, yeah, maybe we are not able to do it properly. Maybe boyhood is something where we think, oh, I have a lot of desires. There is so much, and then when we come to youthhood, there is so many passionate work that I want to do. Yeah, and then comes the next stage, which is adulthood. After youth, then comes adulthood. In adulthood, we think, oh, we are overwhelmed with so many work. That's why we say, let me park everything aside. And then comes, I'm just ready. I'm just looking forward for my seniorhood. What is that? Senior citizenship. Oh, at that time, no one will disturb me, and that is the time where I can really do my own work. Or so nice if there is no work, but there is so much work for our own self, to make sure that whatever our plans are, dreams are, we want to start working from then. And then there is also then further after seniorhood, there is also next. Until death, there is always some work to do. Yeah. So that's why people just say, hey, I think this is not for this life. Maybe devotees like, oh, there are so many great devotees. Maybe I'm not there. Maybe for this life, it's not something I can do. Maybe next life, if I am born in a Brahman family, or next life, if I am born in a Vaishnava family, with that great fortune, maybe I can become, oh, if I am born devotee, then I can practice devotion. Until then, no chance. It's not like that. Huh? That is foolish understanding. It is not that only when one advances in transcendental knowledge and detachment can one practice devotion. That's foolish, because if we don't work out our way, we can't make it. Just like if someone is playing cricket and if he has a target of 400 to hit, he has to hit his first 300 runs, 350, and then only he can think about 400. If he just says one fine day I can just hit the 400th run, it's not possible. So, but the fact is that if one engages in devotional service of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, so first thing is consciousness. Yeah, what is this Krishna consciousness? Is to always think what is that I am doing is for the pleasure of Krishna. Uh, Activities that we are doing is for the pleasure of Krishna. That is what we do. He does not have to attempt separately to practice detachment or to wait for an awakening of transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is saying that I am the one who gives the intelligence, I am the one who gives the remembrance, and I am also the one who gives forgetfulness. So everything is what Krishna is giving, and for the devotees, definitely he gives the necessary intelligence and also detachment. Rather, if we think, no, let me get all these things, let me settle well in my life, let me become that, let me become this. Once all the jobs, responsibilities, family life, and everything is set, then I can bring Krishna in the center. That will not happen. Yeah? It is said that one who engages unflinchingly in devotional service of the Lord actually has all the good qualities of the demigods develop in himself, in him automatically. Whereas one who else, it's also said, one cannot discover how such good qualities develop in the body of a devotee, but actually it happens. That is the secret. What is the proof? What we can just see, what is the end result? We can see a devotee is able to advance. That is the sign. Those who are very eager to advance in transcendental knowledge can engage themselves in pure devotional service without wasting time in mental speculation. So let me become that, let me become this, I want to do that, I want to know this. So much learning. Oh, for that, I need to understand Sanskrit. After all the scriptures are in Sanskrit, in Bengali, or even our own languages. We only are familiar with our local um, um, language. Yeah, what do you call vernacular language? Whatever we are learning, or maybe English. Yeah, sometimes we come across kids who are not even taught their mother tongue. They are just taught English. Yeah, if you are in Germany, German. If you are in France, French. But what about mother tongue? Oh, come on, who is going to? Okay, no, no. And now, when we want to now know the Vedic knowledge, what can we do? Oh, all of a sudden, you have to go and understand Sanskrit, and it's not so easy, not so easy language. Just we may have how many 24 forms of pronouns, pronouns, yeah, 24 forms for one person. How you do for two persons, for three persons, like that, into three times into, so there's 28, sorry, 24. And what about the sandhis? Yeah, when you come bring two words together, what is the binding letter? Everything is so complicated. After that, there are rules, so many rules. And by the time you get the knowledge, yeah, Adi Shankaracharya is saying, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Mudamate. This sense of acquiring a perfect knowledge is not going to happen if we are not taking to the chanting of the name of Govinda. Adi Shankaracharya, he himself, he was in Varanasi, where Sanskrit is, um, or Vedanta school is so prominent, in fact, Shankaracharya himself was telling, let's not waste time in all these rules. Sanprapte sannihite kale. When the time comes, it's not the grammar that will save you. What saves you is calling out the name of the Lord. Ehna hi rakshati dukhantarane. When one is leaving. Anyway, so we can understand the importance of directly engaging in devotional service is the sublime and the most powerful and the most effective way to attain ultimate success. Okay, let me be a little faster. So then the verse 24, the exalted devotee's mind becomes equipoised in sensory activities and he is transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable, which means that he is becoming stable against duality. Because a devotee accepts everything in spiritual vision, he is equipoised. That is the symptom of his being elevated to the transcendental position. He automatically attains Vairagya and Jnana. Jnana and Vairagya automatically come. The conclusion is that an advanced devotee dwells himself in the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and in that sense, he becomes qualitatively one with the Lord. And in fact, he said a devotee has no personal attachment to anything. Therefore, for him, there is no question of agreeable or disagreeable. Yeah, he just says, okay, yeah, if the Lord is pleased, that's fine. I don't. So, and Lord, of course, here the question comes also, is the Lord pleased? And of course, his representative is also pleased. Yeah, like Srila Prabhupada, then yeah, why not? It's not about my opinion. It is more about the opinion of the acharyas that wins. For the service of the Lord, he can accept anything, even though it may be disagreeable to his personal interest. Anything agreeable to Lord is agreeable to him. In fact, that's what we can see from from Bhagavad Gita, right? Arjuna just followed. Yeah, of course, he asked all the questions so that he could have a clarity in engaging very humbly in the service of the Lord. Yeah, humility means not hypocrisy. Huh? Means yes, 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 but doing something else. No, it's not that. Humility means really uh, approaching the spiritual master submissively and inquiring him through service, pleasing him, and making oneself perfect. Hmm. Going further, we can see that the greatest common understanding of all yogis is complete detachment from matter, which can be achieved by different kinds of yoga. And I think we have also covered what are these three. This is Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga. So these are three, but in three, what is important thing? Understanding of all yogis is complete detachment from matter. Yeah, in fact, yoga itself means, yeah, it is yoga, means to connect. But to what is very important. Yoga is connecting to the spiritual energy or transcendental dimension by disconnecting with matter. Hmm. So, mm, so it is said the supreme engagement is engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. That is the purpose of all yoga. Whatever yoga we take, the senses should be controlled. But senses, if they are just controlled, doesn't do the job. The senses should be dovetailed in engaging ourselves in the service of the Lord. That is the best. Those who are averse to the transcendentals realize transcendence, realize supreme to be different, and therefore, because of mistaken speculation, everything appears to them to be relative. Mm. So there is this Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, yeah, the philosophy that absolute truth is true, so absolute is true, and this creation is false, is not accepted by Vaishnava philosophers. We can really perceive every matter as real. We can see, of course, it's temporary in nature, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists, but only for a short time. And of course, our perception, because we think that this is eternal, that is Maya. So that is not existent. Our way of seeing is not right. The example is given that although all the glitters is not gold, this does not mean that a glittering object is false. For example, an oyster shell appears to be golden. This appearance of golden hue is due to only to the perception of the eyes, but that does not mean that the oyster shell is false. Similarly, by seeing the form of Lord Krishna, one cannot understand what he actually is, but this does not mean he is false. In fact, Ganga water is so pure that it can purify even the asses and cows. But anyone who, disregarding the pure Ganges, wishes to be purified instead by filthy water flowing in the drain cannot be successful. This is what people are doing. Hey, why only this way? Let me prove my way. And they do so many things and they just misuse the time they have and mislead other people. They fall in the pit and they also carry others in that. So it is said this perfect knowledge can be achieved by a person who is already engaged in devotional service with faith, steadiness in full detachment, and who is always absorbed in thought of the Supreme. He is aloof from material association. Hmm. Only such a person can understand. So he is just saying, Amba, my dear respectful mother, I have already described the path of understanding the absolute truth by which one can come to understand real truth of matter and spirit and their relationship. This is missing in so many universities. We are trying to understand things separatedly, not together, disconnected. Maybe there is some studies which is going to understand these gamma rays or other things which are not visible, and there is other sciences telling about how chemical interactions are creating things, but this philosophical research culminates in understanding the Lord. That should be the goal. If not, there is no use of all this knowledge. And going for a single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Eyes can see things, eyes cannot hear things. Ears can hear, but ears cannot see. So, similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. Hmm? Ultimately, the Supreme Person is the destination of all different processes. Uh, and then Prabodhananda Saraswati therefore says, in fact, Kaivalya, which is we are thinking, oh, liberation, he is saying he is undoubtedly very great and is appreciated by many philosophers. But to a devotee who has understood how to derive pleasure from exchanging devotional service with the Lord, this unlimited Brahman appears to be hellish. Hmm. Um, yeah, we go forward with concluding verse mainly, yeah, or actually maybe verse number 39 also. So the Lord is saying this instruction is not meant for the envious people. So of course in material world, whom are we seeing? Every person is envious. Every person is envious, maybe with in a degree, maybe one, two, or in a scale of 1 to 10, someone is at 1, 2, or 10. But one who is in this material world, usually, uh, this instruction is not meant for the envious, for the agnostic, or for persons who are unclean in their behavior, nor is it for hypocrites or for persons who are proud of material possessions. What is this? This instruction, whatever Sankhya philosophy that is given, it is not to be instructed to persons who are too greedy and too attached to family life. Why? Because first of all, they can't understand it and they can just ridicule it, and then they can, because of that offense, they may just even go far away. They may not appreciate it, and they may also spoil the spirit of people who are practicing it. So, persons who are always planning to do harm to other living entities are not eligible to understand Krishna consciousness and cannot enter into the realm of transcendental loving service. Actually, Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian religious faith. It is a teaching process for understanding the Supreme Lord and our relationship with Him. Anyone can join this movement without prejudice, but unfortunately, there are persons who feel differently. Therefore, it is better not to instruct the science of Krishna consciousness to such persons. In preaching, we should also have the sense whom to share. If a person is too much, um, attacking out of his envy, is not understanding, and oh, he has a statement. For him, he may think he has a statement. No, still, yeah, if it is not fitting as per, yeah, if he sense that he is envious, we should be careful not to preach. Generally, materialistic people are of some name, fame, after some name, fame, material gain. So, if someone takes to Krishna consciousness for these reasons, he will never be able to understand this philosophy. Such persons take to religious principles as social decoration. They admit themselves in some cultural institution for the sake of name only, especially in this age. Such person cannot understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Even if one is not greedy for material possessions but is too attached to family life, he also cannot understand Krishna consciousness. Superficially, such persons are not very greedy for material possessions, but they are too attached to wife, children, family, improvement. When a person is not contaminated by the above mentioned faults, yet at the ultimate issue is not interested in the service of the Lord, if he is a non devotee, he also cannot understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So, this instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything. Uh, so this means who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. So how to get that? First of all, I am not in that level, so how can I do it? We can see in the purport Prabhupada writes, in order to become a devotee of the Lord, one has to accept a spiritual master and inquire from him about how to progress in devotional service. So, if someone is eager, if someone is inquisitive, and if someone is inquiring about the Lord, huh, about what is devotional service, about who is He, and who is Lord, and what is the relationship, when these things come, he is he is in the most optimal point of actually getting the grace of the Lord, or understanding the Krishna consciousness and take to bhakti yoga. To serve a devotee, to chant holy name according to a certain counting method, to worship the deity, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. These are five things. To serve devotee, to chant the holy name according to a certain counting method, to worship the deity, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a realized person, and to live in a sacred place where devotional service is not disturbed are the first out of 64 devotional activities. One who has accepted these five chief activities is called a devotee. So for such devotees, of course, we can see, okay, if there is something we can add more to them. It's not that, oh, now I found a candidate, I found someone in Braja Bhumi who is a Brajavasi, let me tell him. No, but what is our position? Uh, Here it is said that everyone should accept a spiritual master. So, such a Brajavasi, when he accepts you as a spiritual master, then you can impart whatever you know. But if he is advanced, then we can approach him and learn from him. He should not be unnecessarily envious of God brothers. Here it says, one must be prepared to offer the necessary respect and honor to the spiritual master. First criteria, first point. The second one is, he should not be unnecessarily envious of his God brothers. Rather, if a God brother is more enlightened and advanced in Krishna consciousness, one should accept him as almost equal to the spiritual master, and one should be happy to see such God brothers advance in Krishna consciousness. A devotee should always be very kind to the general public in instructing Krishna consciousness, because that is the only solution for getting out of the clutches of Maya. One should give personal service and all kinds of comfort to the spiritual master. So, Sushrusha, service. Abhirataya indicates a person who faithfully engages in service of the spiritual master. So that should be done. And anyone who once meditate upon Krishna, here is saying me, with faith and affection, who hears and chants about me, surely goes back home, back to Godhead. Uh, that is the confirmation that Kapila Muni, who is none other than expansion of the Lord, is instructing to his dear mother, and from there we can understand, this is so important. And in fact, we can see what are the activities of Kapila Devi, how he attained and how he left, and I think, I don't know if might be tomorrow we can cover, or tomorrow is what, Thursday, it's possible. And we will finish with that chapter, this third canto. Yeah, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Someone want to share before we close the call? Hare Krishna, Seema Madai.
Hare Krishna, Bhikuji. Prabhuji, jealousy is so easy to get. Envy is so easy to get. It's every day something or the other, and it's a lie to feel that way, that we are not envious, or at least I can say for myself.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm. So we can see what is the effect of it when we become envy. What is the use? Is he getting us closer to Krishna?
no, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and another thing is why we become envy is because we think, hey, we are in a competitive world. In material world, only one can become rank one, right? Or only one can get a job. Of course, in today's world, when there's so much recession and so many challenges, it's so difficult that only if I top, if only if I can stamp on others, then only I can be successful. And that's why we envy, because oh, i- if yeah, I think he's doing good, but you know what, he's not doing good than me. Why? Because we are not able to appreciate wholeheartedly someone. Why? Because we think, oh, just if I accept, it means I am lower than a person. We don't want to be lower to anyone, we want to be superior. That's why we feel jealous if someone has it, or we feel envy that we don't have it. Yeah. So all these things. And how to overcome that? Yeah, we should understand Krishna is the Father, and yeah, He can give when we want. It doesn't matter. Yeah. When we are confident that, of course, the matter, for example, gold, come on, if you count the whole gold in the world, there is only fixed amount, right? But yeah, for a devotee, if he needs, yeah, the Lord will arrange. If it is gold that he wants to build the temple and have a nice, this dome, etc. Yeah. Are we really interested that no, we need to beat someone and then get the gold? No, our interest is only to get gold. How? When we engage in service, then Krishna will give that. So when we engage in Krishna conscious activities, then we will not worried because we know that our goal is to please, and it's in the end the Lord's wish whether He want to give or not. We are only looking on our work. We just deliver. What happens, and yeah, whether I'm recognized. So this is another issue, right? When why we are envious about others is, oh, there is so much recognition going to him or her, which, yeah, sometimes we think, hey, why should he get so much recognition? After all, I know about him or her, not qualified than me. So all these things, we sometimes it might be truth, or sometimes it might not be truth because of um, our own covered eyes, not clear vision, due to which we end up in trouble. Whether even if we are correct, we end up in trouble because we don't have to identify that. And even if we are wrong, this is the worst thing. Yeah, we go far from Krishna. So when we are envying someone, we should understand, yeah, Krishna doesn't like it, and then we are actually building a gap, not with the person, but actually building gap with Krishna.
Prabhuji, you correctly addressed also, no, sometimes it is the competitive pressure that creates
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, you have to do. And I mean, sometimes they're like, okay, everybody should get their space. But then managers are like after you, or your leaders are after you have to do it. You have to prove you are the best. And I'm like, we don't have to prove, we all are good. So they just feel that this is some, excuse of not, giving the best work. So this can be taken, this is, I mean, actually I received the feedback around this, that it's considered that it's very casual attitude towards work, and not like, not being competitive is being casual with your work and not serious. I don't know what to
So
do.
I'm saying, if you are competing, you can compete with your own self. Yeah. So if we don't want to compete with someone, yeah, I think we have seen so many who have, maybe if on a short term they may not be recognized to be very good people, but they understand that you're delivering more. Why? Because you're improving every day, to give your best. That doesn't go unnoticed. Yeah. When that is happening, when you are giving your best, yeah, of course, if that is not meeting still the level of what manager is wanting, maybe we are in a wrong team, because the manager has high expectations from everyone, and maybe we are up to that level. But yeah, what we usually tend to do is, then we start pulling the leg of the person, thinking, hey, no, 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 you don't deserve, I deserve it. Yeah, that attitude will only blow off. Because the manager can really know, right? He knows how he has pulled his manager's leg.
Yes, probably. And sometimes the other colleagues also pull your leg. So, one or the other day you, I mean, lose patience and you want to do the same. And then, like, it feels
That's
really bad.
okay. Let's okay. We can be tolerant. We just, of course, we don't want to foolishly admit and say, hey, come and mock me, or come and yeah, do whatever you want. We don't allow, but yeah, to our intelligence, let's focus on the job. Yeah, if people are really pulling, and if the environment is not so good, and if your urja, or your actual energy of doing things is not going fine, maybe that's not the right place. If we can't change the place, we change the place.
Yes, Prabhuji. Got.
Yeah. And usually we are scared, right? Because how can we do that? After all, whole my life is resting on this one, which after great struggle I have settled. So let me not do anything. That's how people usually succumb to all these challenges, and they get into this uh, yeah, and this, I don't know what you call this, whirlpool, not whirlpool. This
Loop.
vicious circle, the
Yeah,
vicious
it's like the
circle, that okay, and then you become part of the problem, right? Until now, you are
right,
saying, hey,
Prabhuji.
they are problem, but because of that, you are you are adjusting your way of living so that you can also be safe. But when you are doing that, if we follow, yeah, some not ethical, tomorrow we'll only feel very, very sad for it. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. There's a role that we also play in that. So,
Yeah. So we
yeah.
have to be careful. Yeah. And of course, a proper communication, a friendly communication can correct many things, Madhu. Usually, yeah, usually we think, oh no, it won't work. No, we can just ask, hey, my manager, can you come for a few minutes? Let me try to explain. And yeah, you explain, and then you just uh, yeah, build. You can build the gelling relationship with the person, and the person can understand. Hey, you're. It's not that you don't want to do it. It's something like you really know that it's not good to do. All these things comes when we explain context, and also we open for correcting. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe there is something that I am not doing correctly. Huh? So we should be open to improve, right? As I said, that's why if we compete, we want to compete with our own self.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, Mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the explanation. And you mentioned that this philosophy is not for those people who are too materially too attached.
Mm-hmm.
So to family life, like wife, children, and so on. So how
Mm-hmm.
do we know that if we are that too attached, or are we in the middle?
Yeah, if you tell about Krishna, if he is repulsive, then you know he is attached not to Krishna.
What do you mean, Prabhuji?
Right? If you are telling to a householder, say, can you bring Krishna consciousness in your life? Then he will just say, hey, I have so many responsibilities. I need to make sure that kids settle in the best MITs and Oxfords or Cambridge, right? Or my wife, she has, yeah, you remember this monkey story? Monkey and a crocodile? No, crocodiles and monkey
No,
story.
Prabhuji.
No, this lady crocodile is asking the heart of the monkey because this male crocodile was telling, my friend, this monkey is so nice, so sweet. So when she heard, oh, so sweet means his heart is should be very sweet. And this lady crocodile or the female crocodile will ask, hey, get me the heart of the monkey. Hmm? And then yeah, so anyway, I can share the or you can ask Gauranga. He can play the video for you. One of the
Yes, Prabhuji, I remember now. I saw this. Yes,
so
Prabhuji.
yeah, when we interact, we understand the mood of a person. Even if you tell 10 times, tell name of Krishna. If he's telling, why should I tell Krishna? My wife name is Smita, and she will say, yeah. So you can, when you interact, you can understand what is the mood of a person, or we should know, we should understand the mood of a person. That is what a maturity comes, yeah. So then we understand, okay, yeah, I think he's too much he's too much caught up in enjoyment of life, and or he's too much caught up in the distress of life. uh, so in either cases, yeah, as I said, if he's open, then we can tell. But what is preaching? Then immediate question is, yeah, even in the one of the 10 offenses is don't preach to a what do you call, unfaithful. What does that mean? Is, yeah, we just start, we don't know. Yeah, we are starting a conversation with a stranger. We don't know who is he, what is his background, etc., etc. But after asking few questions and understanding, we know he's open or not, right? And then you tell. Then the level of his accepting Krishna consciousness, if you see, he can understand, then you give little more. And when he is able to understand more, yeah, keep giving more. Or if he is already not able to appreciate that, yeah, to whatever level you can give Krishna to him, to that level we give. And if in the first interview itself, we understand that no, he is not interested, yeah, then give some prasadam. This is the easiest. Food, no one stops. Yeah, just imagine if gulab jam, no one cares it is prasadam or not prasadam. Hmm? Yeah, Adrasa Prabhu. You're on mute.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody proposes it because of some stress, distress level or something, some struggle, so can we say he's also a test or?
Definitely, right? One is distressed as long as he identifies himself as body. Huh? He
Okay.
is distressed because he's identifying the problems of material world to be, these real problems. So he's in condition. Yeah, as I said, if he is open to change for good, yeah, we are ready to help him out. Otherwise, yeah, we can say, okay, all the best. We can pray for him. Yeah, as I said, there are different levels how we can still help a person. No one is stopping, hey, stop praying for me. Huh? Huh? If someone is really saying, hey, stop praying for me, yeah, we can see what happens, right? In the case of Jagai Madhai, how Nityananda Prabhu still said, no, at least take one time the name of Hari. Uh, hmm. So we have license to go to that level. Okay, Adarasa Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then, yeah, thank you very much, and talk to you tomorrow on the last chapter of the third canto. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हिताय गौर